Welcome everybody to today's interview. My guest today is Joseph Ifani Chukwu Madu from Nigeria. And today's topic is the importance of psychology and psychotherapy in all areas of life in Nigeria. So we will listen to Joseph's perspective about that today. I prepared some questions. If you have questions, please feel free to share them in the chat. I will integrate them during the interview or at the end of the interview. And yeah, it's an interactive project. Please, if you drop out because of internet issues, network issues, technical issues, or if you know someone who can't attend the interview now, don't worry, I will download it and upload it on my YouTube channel, which is called Health Exchange, and it's also linked to my bio. So we will upload it afterwards. Yeah, so now I got the honor to introduce Joseph to you, or he will introduce himself. Please, Joseph, give us some information about yourself, for example, your profession, and your reasons why you specialized in mental health.
Okay. Dalo means thank you. Okay, I am Madu Joseph Ifani Chukwu. I'm from Nigeria. I just did my bachelor's degree in psychology at Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University in Ibadan campus, and I am on the verge to start my master's. I will apply my master's at Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University in clinical psychology. Yeah, that's my area of specialization. Yes. So today the topic will be on the importance. I'm emphasizing on the importance of psychology and psychotherapy in different areas of life in Nigeria. So, like I said, just to enlighten you a little on the meaning of psychology. Okay, psychology is an academic discipline. You know, it is taught in different institutions, especially higher institutions. So it is an academic discipline that studies the human and animal behavior and mental processes. Human and animal behavior and mental processes. So with that, as a psychologist, you get to study about the mind, how human beings think, how also animals think, yes. Psychology came from the Greek word psych and logi. Psych and logi. Psych means mind, while logi means study. So psychology is the study of the mind. So our mind can be so diverse, you know. Our mind is so diverse and vast. It involves studying the feelings, the thoughts, and behaviors of human and animals. You know, as human beings, we have different feelings, we have different thought processes, we have unconscious and conscious thoughts. Because let me give an example. Sometimes you may wake up in the morning and you find out that maybe you feel sad or you feel bad or you don't feel like your normal self, you know. There's a cause to every behavior, and a cause to every behavior starts with your mind. Anything you perceive in your environment, how you perceive it, can cause mental distress. It can affect your mental health, depending whether you perceive it positively or negatively. So in psychology, we just study the feelings, the thoughts, the behaviors of people, what contributes to those mental distress, what contributes. So once you are aware of these unconscious thoughts, once you are aware of these mental unconscious thoughts, yes, the problem is half solved, you see. Once you are just aware what is wrong with you as a human being, because there are some human beings, they are mentally distressed and they are behaving upward in the society and they don't know, you see. And it is worse when you don't know the problem. But once you are aware of the problem and you know that you're not okay, at least that shows that at least you're a human being, that you are aware, you know. But some people can't just tell. They keep on living like that for many years and they keep dying in silence. So it is important to know the value of psychology, what goes on in your body, how you react to situations, how you pay attention to situations, your memory, your personality, who you are, what makes who you are. All these things can contribute to your mental health. So, as I was saying, psychologists can also be called cognitive scientists, because cognitive has to do with anything that happens to any study that goes on with the mind. Yes, anything that has to do with the mind, cognitive. So as a psychologist, you can also be called cognitive scientists. Psychologists are people who do practices in different research, who conduct so many research and with using different psychological tools in order to solve mental distress, depending on the case or the scenario. So that's psychology for us. That's psychology. Then coming to psychotherapy. What is psychotherapy? Okay, so psychotherapy is like psychotherapy is the use of professional psychological means, professional psychological means, or you can call it talking therapy. It is the use of professional psychological methods to treat, to alleviate mental distress, to cure mental distress, you know. That is psychotherapy. You're just trying to help the individual to become a normal human being, so that the individual or the client will, you know, perform well in his or her daily activities. So therapy means to help, psychotherapy, help somebody who is suffering from mental distress. Yes, but it's a professional way. Remember, it is professional. It's not just anyhow talking method. Psychotherapy, to be more specific, is like a one-on-one conversation with the use of professionally talking to a client who has problems, and how to solve those problems so that he or she may have an efficient and effective life. So that's psychotherapy for you. Yes. So psychology is just studying those mental, human behavior, mental processes, while psychotherapy is helping people with the use of different psychological tools to combat the mental distress or psychological problem. Yeah.
Thank you very much, first of all, for your introduction of yourself, and then also for the introduction what you understand as psychology and psychotherapy. There was one thing I just would like to pick up. The term of normal. You know, what is normal or who is not normal. So me, as a systemic psychotherapist, I think that what we perceive as normal or abnormal is influenced by a lot of factors.
What are those factors?
For example, the belief system of a person, or also what is considered or accepted in the society of a person. Yeah. Also what is accepted in the individual family of a person. So I think there are a lot of factors that influence it, and also if we look at the past, where, for example, the understandings of mental health symptoms also like changed, and diagnostic manuals and classification instruments changed. I think that this is also something dynamic. So for me, in my understanding, I never say people are normal or abnormal, but they are their own norms. So if a person perceives something as challenging and comes to psychotherapy, then we see how this person can feel better or combat their challenge. And I would not judge the person based on their behavior as, for example, abnormal, you know? So, this is like my therapeutic attitude. And yeah, I also believe that sometimes, or at least maybe I have the impression that sometimes people could feel stigmatized by being classified as abnormal or something. So this is why I think context and understandings are very important to be considered. Yeah, this is just something that I would like to add. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I believe that when a person shows a specific behavior that might be considered as unusual, it is a try to maybe cope with something that challenged the person. And it's a try or seen as a strategy to combat this maybe psychological distress that the person is facing. So I see every behavior as a try to cope with something, and maybe a person that comes to psychotherapy and wishes to change the behavior, or other people wants to change the behavior. I see it as my job to assist them to find alternative strategies to live a life with more harmony to themselves or also other people. So yeah.
that's what I just wanted to add.
Thank you very, very much for this introduction. So, what encouraged you personally, as Joseph Madu, to choose this topic? Why do you think it's so important to talk about psychology and the relevance of it and psychotherapy in all areas of life here in Nigeria?
Okay. Why it is important to study psychology and to discuss about psychology and psychotherapy here in Nigeria is because, as we are all human beings, and we are surrounded, this earth is surrounded by human beings, and we all know that the mind is the controller of both our thoughts and behavior, So it is very important that psychology is being addressed in all areas of life, especially in Nigeria. Once we are, as a human being, we think. Anything we do, we have to think. Anything we consciously want to do, we have to think. So as human beings, we have to study ourselves, because there are so many things that can contribute to our mental distress or to our behavior. The mind is very fragile. We can learn so many things with our mind. That is why it is important for when a child is growing up, when a child is growing, the environment he grew determines who he or she will become. The environment, the food he eats, how his association, the child's association matters. So studying psychology is very important, not only based on that aspect, but also based on people's diverse culture. Some people behave the way they are because of where they come from, different cultures. In Nigeria, we have so many cultural backgrounds, people speaking so many languages, people from different tribes. In Nigeria, we have the Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, the three big ethnic groups we know, and so many other things. So there are some behaviors that contribute to how each ethnic group behaves, like culture, like their marriage culture, religion. We also have their customs and tradition. Like in Nigeria, in the olden days, there's this custom or tradition which they practice in Nigeria, especially in the Igbo land, because I am Igbo. So there's a culture they practice back in those days. Once a woman gives birth to twins, it's either they banish the woman or they kill the twins. You see that? So this kind of behavior, why would anybody want to kill precious human beings that God created? Like twins is like double blessings, double blessings. But luckily now science has explained why a human being could give birth, a female human being could give birth to two human beings at the same time. Before it was weird, like, our historians, they couldn't believe that a human being could give birth to two persons, two infants at the same time. So it was very weird, you see. But science has proved why such kind of thing happens. We also have some different burial ceremonies, how burial is being practiced in different cultures, different languages we speak, and all of that. You see, like for example, you, Katrina, you are part of what you are now in Nigeria and you are learning our culture. You see, we have so many cultures, you know, both in terms of our dressing, the way Nigerians think, the way we perceive things, you know, it's all part of psychology, you know, and you can also contribute to the things that you see abnormal here. You can contribute, and we can also explain why things happen. So that's the importance of psychology and psychotherapy in Nigeria. So the thing is that in Nigeria we are ignorant. That's another thing. We are ignorant about psychology in Nigeria. Psychology is not common. It's not common. It's not a known profession or a known course. You know, if you maybe go outside in the streets and say, oh yeah, I'm a psychology student, and the person would be like, yeah, what's psychology? Or maybe the person has had psychology, but it's not trending. You know, they just know it as an academic course. They don't know how it can be applied to individual lives, to different professions, and all that. So psychology in Nigeria is a necessity. Different areas like business, religion, politics, sports, you know, sports psychology, it's very important so that it can help the performance, it can help with the performance of people, you know, in their daily lives, how you perform in different areas of life. So the psychology and psychotherapy is very, very it's a necessity, and it is important. It is very, very, we need it. We need it in all spheres of Nigerian life. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. One thing that I was just thinking of, what I found so important that is like the diversity in cultures and in cultural beliefs, and that depending on the cultural belief, people can perceive something, a behavior, as I said, as so-called abnormal, and some people might not, right?
Yes.
That's something very important. What I also always think we have to consider also, for example, in the country where I was born, in Germany, in which we live with very different people from various cultural backgrounds, and where also, cultures over the time came together, and, culture is something so dynamic also. So I think it's so important to also try to, build an understanding of the cultural beliefs in the biography of a person. Thank you very, very, very much for this input, and also for your impression of psychology and psychotherapy. Though I'm currently doing a training with Joseph together. We have the privileged opportunity to get trained by two and more Nigerian professors in psychology and psychotherapy. And I was talking with one of our professors, and he said that maybe they didn't call it psychology and psychotherapy, but there are certain approaches, I think we will learn about it maybe in the next weeks, that already existed before colonialization, like Black psychology and psychotherapy that was not known as psychology and psychotherapy, but was there. So this is also something I'm very excited about to learn, like maybe or probably, as he said, there is already something that didn't have the name, but was practiced, and how to combine or how to yeah, broaden our understandings also of psychology and psychotherapy, or the way it develops over time. Very, very interesting. Thank you very much, Joseph. So, what would you say? Which areas of life in Nigeria are maybe already included in the study of psychology and psychotherapy here?
Like, should I say, like where it is being applied, or is it?
Yeah, where it is applied or what you learn at university, like which areas of life are considered and which are considered in the studies. Where
Okay, like in education, education is one aspect of where psychology and psychotherapy are being taught and practiced, mostly in education, in some institutions, higher institutions most especially. Also in some clinics, we have clinics that practice, psychotherapeutic methods to handle patients. Very few, but mostly in higher institutions. Yeah, that's where psychology and psychotherapy is mostly applied. Yes. So
Thank you very much. So, and what would you say, which areas are not considered, but you think are important, like that psychology and maybe also psychotherapy is applied in that?
okay. Where psychology is not applied, and I think should be applied, is, in fact, in all areas of all professions. Let me put it like that. In all professions, whether you're doing business, whether you're doing whether you're doing politics, but in religion, trading, media, business, it's very important because we are dealing with the mind. We are dealing with the mind. The mind is anything you learn. Anything you learn is based on the mind. You see, so both in your business, or call it business, politics, religion, tradition, anything, any profession, we deal with mind. As long as it involves human interaction, once you're interacting with human beings in any profession, once there's a human being in your profession, then psychology and psychotherapy should not be left out. Like it must be there. It must, because many people come up with different emotions, behaviors that can affect their daily lives, their daily workplace, their daily activities. You see, so in the thing is that in every area of life in Nigeria, in any profession, whether you're a footballer, whether you are a trader, anything, psychology is very important and should be applied in such areas.
Is there an area where you would apply it first if you have the opportunity to do so? Is there something that you think that's the most important to implement it there first?
Okay, if there was any area, I would say you should start yourself. To be honest, I don't. Every area is important. That is for me. All areas are important. Like, should I say, every area should be one, So there is no divisions to where I would prefer, There are no divisions. But should I say in the family, each, like, apart from any profession, like, first of all, in every family, there should be knowledge, awareness of psychology and psychotherapy. Once it starts in the family, then you can become whatever you want to become. You see, you can become a lawyer, you can become a doctor, you can become anything. So for me, family is also a business. That's in my own perspective. Family, psychology should be made aware in the family, each home, each family. Yeah. Well, but okay, I have another alternative. In Nigeria, most especially Nigeria, religion is, I find it a necessity for psychology to be applied in religion, because our country is a religious country, Our country is very religious and also political. So with the knowledge of psychology, at least it should contribute positively to these areas of life, religion and politics. Yes.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you so much. Your comment about family is also a business. I really have to think of that as a family therapist.
Honestly.
There were some comments in the chat. Thanks, Joseph. I have known now the difference between psychology and psychotherapy.
Good.
And other words of appreciation. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. All right, so Joseph, next question. My next question would be, what do you think can individuals contribute to implement psychology and psychotherapy in their areas of life and to improve their mental health?
Okay. In Nigeria, due to the fact that psychology and psychotherapy is not well known, those who have studied psychology can implement, the use of psychology through, social media, through the use of banners, seminars, conferences about psychology and psychotherapy. I'm sure, especially social media has made the world a global village. So it's through social media, I'm sure the information will be disseminated quickly and easier about psychology and psychotherapy. Yes.
And what do you think can societies or communities do in order to implement psychology and psychotherapy in different areas or all areas of life and to improve mental health?
Okay, what societies and communities can do is to seek for psychology and therapeutic information, like I said before, through different. Okay, the community can implement the use of psychology and psychotherapy by, establishing clinics, rehabilitation centers, what do they call it? Health clinics. What do they? Introducing psychology as a course at the beginning of your bachelor's degree, like making it general for all courses, for all students, making it a general course. You see, because when you're dealing with when you're dealing with thinking in everyday life, it is good that you also study about it, how you think. So, if psychology could be made a general course, like a compulsory course for every bachelor, or for any, or even maybe in secondary schools, introducing psychology in secondary schools, but at a minor level, so that because anything you're studying in the university or anything you're studying in secondary school, you are going to apply thinking, you are going to apply thinking, and you're going to deal with people in any profession you are in any profession. As long as you're dealing with human beings, psychology is not left out, should not be left out. So, in institutions, they should also establish rehabilitation centers, health clinics, more mental health clinics, in which psychology and psychotherapy can be applied.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone agreed with it and shared in the chat, yeah, psychology should be a university-wide course in college. Yeah, I wish we would have that in Germany as well. I think, I know that some schools offer it, even in school, like in secondary school.
In Germany?
Yes, some.
Wow.
But, or sometimes they combine it with pedagogy.
With
pedagogy,
okay.
Like pedagogical.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not like obligatory everywhere, and it's rare.
Okay.
Rather, I would say, yeah.
Wow.
And I think, I think we could also profit from that.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
So, Joseph, how and where can people get access to psychological and psychotherapeutic knowledge? Okay, you said some things already before, but also services in Nigeria.
Okay, well, people in Nigeria can get psychological services is, first of all, my family, my father, who is a psychologist, a psychotherapist and specialized in clinical psychology, has his own private practice, which is called the School of Psychotherapy and Health Sciences, which is located at Okija in Anambra State. Yes, it is there, well established. That school is the School of Psychotherapy and Health Sciences at Okija is the first school in psychotherapy in the whole of West Africa. So it is, the website will be communicated to you later. Yes. So that one is recommended, at least for Nigerians, So then also at universities, you can also get in touch with psychology universities for Nigerian students, for Nigerians who are interested in psychology, planning to become a psychotherapist or industrial psychotherapist or sports psychology. In universities are there. In hospitals, yes, in some hospitals, they do require psychologists there. Yeah.
Thank you very much. A little spoiler. I will also get the opportunity to introduce the father of Joseph Madu, the founder of the Psychotherapeutic Institute here in Nigeria. Yes, so stay tuned. I also
Can't wait.
yeah, for sure. We can't. It's a very, very interesting personality. And I also published something on my Instagram page about it. Very, very inspiring person. But very soon we got the opportunity to interview him live. But today it's about you and your perspective. So let's get back to that because I would also be interested to what extent and how can local people get access to the education about psychology and psychotherapy here in Nigeria, as well as the services. How's the procedure? How do they get in touch?
Okay.
What are the requirements? Are there requirements?
Okay. Generally, how local people can get in touch with psychology and psychotherapy, like I said before, just through social media, use it through the means of social media. Social media has made the world a global place. Most people have phones in Nigeria, Android phones. So once you have an Android phone, you can get access to study and also even apply for courses in psychology and psychotherapy. Through listening to radios, television, all those are little ways in which the local people, for those that can't afford to get to higher institution, because like I said, it's only in the higher institutions that here in Nigeria that one can at least get a full, tutorial about psychology, the practice of psychology, and the knowledge about psychology. So apart from that, through social media, yeah.
Do you also know the school that you mentioned, the School of Psychotherapy? How can people get access to that? Do you also know that? Or to the services that are provided in the private praxis? Is it through the number on the website or
yes,
email? Or?
Yes. Through email, there's an email address for the School of Psychotherapy. It will be communicated to you later by my dad. So through email, so you can also Google it, School of Psychotherapy and Health Sciences, KEJA. There's full detail about the school and everything you need to know and how it will lead. It will make you aware. It will make you aware of the need for psychotherapy and psychology. Yeah.
I will post it, the link and everything.
Later you get it.
Thank you very much, Joseph, for sharing it with us. Thank you. So before we come to the question that was written in the chat, thank you very much already for that. I would just quickly bring in one more question, then we come to that. Now that we talked about local people, to what extent and how can international people get access to the education about psychology and psychotherapy here in Nigeria, as well as the services?
Okay, internationally, how people internationally can get access to psychology and psychotherapy in Nigeria is also through social media. Yes, someone like you who also had the opportunity to explore, to travel, and also you know that you have gotten, access because of the project you're doing here in Nigeria. Yeah. So uh, if if how do I put it? If you have the financial aspect to go and explore in other countries like Nigeria here to get the African culture of the psychology, the African perspective of psychology, how Nigerians think, how the challenges they face. Yeah. So once you have the financial aspect of it, then you can explore more, just the way you did. So it will help to, sensitize those that are living abroad. Yes. So now that you're being sensitized on the African aspect of psychology, then maybe when you go back to Germany, you can now, share your knowledge of what you learned in Africa, in Nigeria especially.
Or refer to
Yes.
get in touch with you.
Exactly. Yes.
The people I meet here, right?
Yes.
I think, it's as you say, it's a privileged opportunity to get the access and to participate in this training. I'm very grateful for that. Yes. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Joseph.
Welcome.
There's another question. Thank you very much for the question. The person is asking, do you think it is limiting Africans from accessing psychological support, especially in African countries?
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
it's important. Why do you think is it limiting Africans from accessing psychological support, especially in African countries? Sorry for reading it out wrong.
Okay. I think it's because white people don't, most especially in Africa, should I say Africans are not that open, you see. Africans sometimes don't like sharing their psychological problems to a third party, They would rather like to share their problems with maybe people who are very close and very maybe related by blood, if it's the mother, father, children, within that circle. So I'm not saying that psychology is a meeting to Africans, but we don't know that we need psychotherapy. We don't know that we need it. I don't know whether it's because maybe we're not aware or we're not enlightened on it. But it's not limiting. I think that's what she's trying to ask. We just need to be enlightened more so that we can understand the need for psychological, for psychotherapy and psychology. in Nigeria to practice it. Sometimes it can be due to, it can also be due to, should I say, through the rigorous process of becoming a therapist. You know, many people, just few people may be motivated. Okay, a lot of people can be motivated to get that knowledge about psychology, but going through the process, you know, both financially, you know, it's also very distressing, and many people may not, you know, have access to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So there's another question. In case you would like, we misunderstood a question or something, please feel free to share it again in the chat or ask further question. No problem. The other question is, Nigerians are known for being resilient. They have a tough skin that shows no vulnerabilities. In your practice as a psychotherapist, how has this affected your relationship with clients?
Yes, as therapists, especially Nigerian therapists, you know, Nigerians, we know ourselves, we are hardened creatures. We argue a lot, you know. We find it hard to admit our faults. Sometimes we go round the problem instead of hitting it to the nail, you know. So yes, it has been a challenge. It has been a big challenge to psychotherapists in Nigeria, you know. But that does not stop us from doing the profession of psychotherapy. It's very distressing at a point, but in every way there's always a way, you know. In every way there is always a way. Psychotherapists tend to be very, very calm and approachable to clients, even if the client is at the highest point of misbehavior inside the therapeutic or during the therapy session. We use our professional psychological methods, talking methods, to, you know, at least try to cool the temper of the clients, try to make the clients relaxed. You see, so once the client is relaxed, I'm sure they will gradually reach to their solution to their problem. Yes, but I know, yeah. I'm not a therapist, you know, I'm not a therapist, but my dad has, you know, shared awareness, has shared his own experience, you know. It's not easy, but with practice. Remember, psychotherapy is a professional way of talking to people. So you have to practice. It's not a thing you can just get under 1 month. You can learn under 1 month or 1 year. You know, some people who are practicing psychotherapy practice it for years, and the financial aspect of it is also there, you know, and we're in Nigeria. So psychology is not a joke. It's not a joke. You're dealing with fellow human beings. You're dealing with fellow human beings who come up with different problems. You know, once they are telling you their story, they are putting the whole burden on your head. on how to cope with it. All these things are being taught how to handle during the practice or during the training.
Thank you very much for your perspective on that. Do you also think that psychotherapy is somehow also the place where you can show these things, because this is also the place where you want to try to find alternatives and alternative strategies to respond to certain things, try to understand yourself, why you are maybe behaving in this and that ways?
Yes, psychotherapy is that you are being trained for that. You are being trained for those kind of circumstances that may come up in future. You are being trained for that. So you are going to expect that. It won't, as you're going through the training, you will, you will have to undergo certain, even you yourself. I learned that even as you want to become a psychotherapist, you yourself have to go through therapy sessions. Yes, you yourself have to go through therapy sessions in order to be qualified as a psychotherapist. So, because you're trained for that, you will not perceive it as a new thing. Keep on practicing so that you don't know who you might meet in your therapy session. You may meet any kind of person, any kind of person that you may not even, that you would not expect. You see, but the therapeutic training that you learned will help you to cope with such kind of people with different kinds of behavior. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Joseph. There's another question. Even after so many years, the mention of the Biafra War reminds Nigerians of great pain. What is being done to help citizens who still suffer from the aftermath of the war?
Yes, you see, like such kind of people, Biafrans, yeah, especially in the Igbo land. Yes, the Igbos, we know about Biafra a lot, and so many things happened during the war between Biafra and other and Biafra and Nigeria. So, so many things happened. So many things happened during the war. Some people may have psychological trauma due to the killings and all the bloody stories of the Biafra. So it is, you see, it's important. It is important that psychology is being introduced or made aware or being sensitized to, especially those that were being told the story of the Biafran War, and also those that were also involved in the Biafran War. So many people are still suffering from the trauma of the Biafran War. And it has affected some Igbos too in Nigeria. It has affected us. Psychology is important. Psychotherapy is important. Some people still need to recover from the past. Some people still need to resuscitate from the past. You see, so psychology should be a great necessity in Nigeria. Thank you.
There was one comment in the chat. Indeed, the study of psychology and psychotherapy never ends. Yeah.
Sure.
I also agree to that. It's a very broad field, very dynamic, new insights coming up that need to be integrated with knowledge that was already there or developed. Yeah, thank you very much for this comment.
Yeah.
All right, the next question is, why do you think it is important to exchange perspectives about mental health and related topics?
Yes. Yes. It is very important to exchange perspectives on mental health and related topics because, like I said before, every day we deal with human beings. We deal with human beings, and human beings can have, everybody has their own way of perceiving the world. Everybody sees the world in their own different view. Nobody is the same, even twins. Twins have their own different perception of the world around them. So it is important to understand people's culture, where people are coming from, because there are some factors that can contribute to their behavior, their background, the family they were brought up in, the kind of socialization, their culture can all impact their behavior. So it's very necessary, to discuss perspectives about mental health because the mind is so diverse. The mind is so diverse and the mind is so fragile. When a person people behave due to their experience. Experience can contribute to one's behavior. So we learn from each other because the people in your country may not understand the way we perceive and see the world in Nigeria, and the people in Nigeria may also not perceive the way your Germany, your country perceives the world. So it is very important. No one knows everything. We are all learning from each other. So it is very important to exchange perspectives. You're not God, I am not God. We're not perfect. So we have to keep learning and learning and learning until we become like God. I'm just joking. Until we know better and how, and once we learn from each other, we can be one and solve bigger challenges, bigger challenges in future or all over the world, so that's it. It's very important to exchange perspectives about mental health. Very, very. Once you are mentally aware, once you are mentally enlightened, you will improve in your own well-being, and you can also contribute to the well-being of others by, sharing knowledge, sharing experiences, why things happen, the system of things, the system of government, the family system, and all that. It all applies to all those areas. Thank you.
Thank you for your perception. So, suppose a miracle happened overnight, and one aspect about the mental health care changed to the better. How would you recognize that this miracle happened?
Okay. read the question again.
Yeah, no problem. Suppose a miracle happened overnight, and one aspect about mental health changed for the better, or mental health care changes for the better. How would you recognize that the miracle happens?
Yes, okay. One aspect, if a miracle happened for the mental health, is that, like, for example, if schools, if I think if schools were, if every student was given like the opportunity to to study psychology, you get, if students were given the opportunity to study psychology, like, should I say, for free, or, you know, like maybe if they had like, maybe, should I say, insurance or something that will make students study or embrace psychology as a course, it will contribute. It will make, it will be a very, it will be a very good thing, like a very, at least psychology will, be known and enlightened from that level of education. So it will be a thing of joy if such thing could be fulfilled, especially in Nigerian schools. Yes. Hope I answered your question well.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your answer. So before I will read up my last question, I would like to invite you, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat to share your questions with us. We would be happy to, or Joseph would be happy to answer them for today. Thank you very much for that, Joseph.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You're welcome.
So my last question is, what else would you like to share? What is the take-home message you would like to give to other people?
To other people is
the people that are listening to us.
Okay. Just to know that we are dealing with a lot. So many people are going through a lot. So many people are experiencing a lot. And it would be of paramount importance to have that knowledge of psychology, and especially psychotherapy. Yes, I've gone through emotions. I'm sure you have gone through emotions and mental distress, but because you are alive today, it means that you will get through it. You will get through whatever you're going through. We are born with the ability. We have that potential to cope with anything we are facing in life. Yes, we are born with it. But some people don't have that knowledge about their ability. You see, we are all equal, but it's the world that makes us different. Nobody was born bad. Everybody was, it's the world, the environment that creates us. But we human beings, thank God, God gave us the flexibility to learn and to cope with whatever we are facing. So I am happy to be a psychologist, a psychology student. Yes, I am happy to meet Catherine, who is our student too, and to share knowledge. I appreciate her for, for taking such decision to conduct her project in Nigeria for the betterment of the world at large. Yes, for the betterment of the world at large. And I really appreciate you, and I pray that your project will take you to the best of the best. So, and for you, the viewers, psychology is amazing. Very amazing course. You get to know things that are really mind-blowing about human behavior and emotions and personality of people. So psychology is a wonderful course. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joseph, first of all, for the time that you invested today, for your appreciative words towards me and also the viewers. And I would just also would like to express my gratitude to you because, what we learned, Ubuntu says,
I am because you are.
Yes, so we are interconnected and we need different perspectives and diversity, especially when it comes to psychology and psychotherapy. This is what I think, in order to improve our healthcare system, our healthcare services, and diversify it, make it a safe space for everyone in the societies, especially when we live in multicultural societies. So this is why I'm very grateful that you used the time today to be with us. I also thank you out there for your wonderful questions, because also your perspectives are so appreciated and so important to hear what questions are on your minds when it comes to certain topics. And thank you very much for staying with us for so long, for the comments, for the interactions, the questions, and I will download everything later and upload it on the YouTube channel so you can rewatch it, share it with friends, like it. I will be very happy if you also like to subscribe so you stay updated if new videos come up, which will definitely come, as I already told you before. And yeah, I'm just very, very grateful that I have the privileged opportunity to interview people like Joseph and other wonderful people who are trying or who are doing so much to improve mental health and mental health care services for people internationally. So with us connecting with each other, exchanging ideas of how to improve it for people, I feel very, very to get the opportunity to do so, and then also to be with you, learning together, and trying to think of how to make this world a better place, or to contribute to it, next to so many other people who are contributing in their professions and their everyday lives. And yeah, I'm very, very grateful for that. And I wish you a very lovely evening, and hope to see you in the next video and interview, which will probably be next week. Yeah, have a very, very restful night, and see you next time. Bye.